What's up guys, Ruppy here, welcoming you to week 6 of the UNPL. Last week, my Columbus Swoo managed to finally snap our losing streak with a win over Dapper and his Appalachian Appletons. Try saying that 5 times fast. And now we are looking to start turning things around as we head into pretty much the heart of the second half of the season. This week, we are playing ShadowAce and his Motor City Rotoms. They are currently sitting at 2-3 with a -10 differential. But, as I have said once already this season with Grandmaster D-Ray, do not let the record fool you, because this team honestly has me a little afraid. I know my team's kind of chilling outside of Levincia. We seem to be gravitating towards Levincia a lot for some reason. Don't know why. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and flip on over to the chalkboard now and see what we've got going on here. His roster will be appearing off to the right. This team kind of scares me because of everything that Shadow has going here. It is as follows: Baxcalibur, Great Tusk, Galarian Slowking, Hisui and Samurott, Iron Moth, Altaria, Regieleki, Amoonguss, Charizard, Murkrow, Masquerain, and Dracloak. Yeah, that's a lot of Mons. I think ShadowAce is the only person who actually used every available pick with all the points they had. He also has 3 Tera Captains. An Altaria, which can terrestrialize into Dragon Fairy or Steel, Dracloak, which is Ghost Fairy and Steel, and Charizard, who is Fire, Water, and Fairy. On paper, there's a lot about this team that is kind of problematic. Baxcalibur is certainly a significant threat. If that thing gets set up, I could be in deep trouble. Charizard! That thing is no joke in the sun, and technically ShadowAce does have sun in the form of Prankster Murkrow. So if that thing comes, gets a sun up, Solar Power Charizard, I don't have a lot that can take a hit from it. And if it teras, that can make things even worse. Masquerain could potentially set up webs, which creates a lot of issues. Regieleki is stupidly fast. Hisui and Samurott with Ceaseless Edge and being able to set up near guaranteed spikes. Galarian Slowking and all its special bulk. Iron Moth. There's a lot on this team that I really do not like to see. This is actually kind of a threatening team. So, how exactly am I going to deal with this, you ask? Well, let's see if we can put the puzzle pieces together, shall we? And it starts with Rogue the Sneasel. I'm not gonna lie. On paper, Tera Ground Sneasel has a really good match here. Between Icicle Crash, Knockoff, Brick Break, and Tera Ground Tera Blast, Sneasel can beat down a good chunk of this team. I would have loved to have been able to run a boosting item, but to be honest, I felt like I needed heavy-duty boots on the off chance he brings webs, because Regieleki is the only thing on his team, barring a Scarfer, that outruns Sneasel naturally. And Regieleki kind of can't do anything if I terrestrialize, because, you know, it has very few options for if it doesn't have access to Tera, which it does not. So I feel Tera Ground Sneasel could actually put in a lot of work here. If I can chip a few things down, it might even basically, it's going to depend how the game goes, but Sneasel is my intended win con. Mostly because if I chip a few things down, Sneasel can just come in and pretty much terrestrialize and clean up. It's got just enough power with 216 speed EVs that guarantees outrun everything that it is able to. Because I believe the next fastest thing is Iron Moth, and Sneasel naturally outruns that. And 40 HP EVs does give it a bit of bulk to be able to utilize on the off chance that it needs to take a hit. And just to kind of be a further... Actually, before I move on, I should probably address Brick Break, because in the back of my mind, I feel like Screen's Regieleki may come to this game to kind of give him the opportunity to set up the likes of Baxcalibur. And with Brick Break, I'm hoping to be able to prevent that, or at least hinder it greatly. Because without screens, I think I can handle this game a lot better, especially with Sneasel. So now we are officially moving on to Calamity the Infernape. And I think it's about time I busted out the Choice Scarf Ape set. This one is a bit unorthodox, though. With 208 speed, Infernape naturally outruns, well, everything except for Regieleki, because unfortunately, even if I were to go Jolly Max speed, Scarf Ape still does not outrun Regieleki. That thing is so stupidly fast. But the Scarf does guarantee that I outrun Dracloak, which is, after Iron Moth, the next fastest thing on his team at base 102. The Scarf definitely allows me to outrun, here's the thing. If Iron Moth is Choice Specs or Life Orb, then a potential Psychic does threaten to OHKO me, but Ape will always outspeed. If he runs a specific enough EV spread to be able to get a speed boost out of, say, Booster Energy for Quark Drive, then Iron Moth will be able to outrun, but with 48 HP EVs, Ape will always live a Psychic, even without a crit. Since he would have to go Timid to be able to get the speed boost, and he would have to run a specific amount of... He would have to balance his EVs between special attack and speed in such a way that it can actually get the speed boost in that case to be able to outrun Ape. But you're looking at this move set, and yes, it is a bit awkward. Close combat, U-turn, Thunder Punch, and Earthquake, with the Iron Fist ability to be able to give a little extra pop to Thunder Punch. Where's the fire move, you're asking? Well, I will be honest. I'm very hesitant to run a fire move for this game because of one reason and one reason alone, and its name is Baxcalibur. With Thermal Exchange, if he predicts a fire move, or if he knows I'm locked into it, he could very easily come in. I would definitely have to switch because I can't touch the thing, and I don't want to give that thing any sort of attack boost. I'm honestly fearing that if I have a fire move and lock myself into it, or if he predicts it correctly, I could potentially be giving Baxcalibur the perfect setup to be able to just come in and clean house. And I want to avoid that at all costs. Granted, this Ape set does kind of struggle with a few things, such as Great Tusk. Tera Water Charizard it might also struggle with, but to be fair, I'm not sure if he runs Tera Water. That's like the only Tera... I've accounted for just about every Tera possibility he could bring, except for Tera Water, but Tera Water I think I can honestly just overwhelm and beat down with enough offensive pressure. So we will see how it goes. I really have high hopes for Ape in this game, even without the fire move, but I guess we will see in the long run. But as a precaution, I am bringing Crewmate the Ditto as well. I don't really need to explain the set. It's the same set I've been bringing because, plain and simple, it's a Ditto. That's all that really needs to be said about it. Ideally, if he does decide to set up with Baxcalibur, I can just steal the boost and be able to go to town on his team. I think the threat of Ditto alone might be enough to maybe deter him from setting up, but in that case, I'm sure I can find some other options to be able to work with for Ditto, like, say, Iron Moth, perhaps. Maybe I could take advantage of Charizard's Solar Power and pop something. You never know. The options with Ditto are endless. One of these weeks, I'm going to figure out how to properly tap into Ditto's true potential, because I did actually talk with Dapper quite a bit last week after our game, and I now realize that I kind of made a lot of mistakes with Ditto in that game, namely completely forgetting that HP is the one thing it doesn't copy, which I didn't account for in my calcing, because if I had, I actually had a potential Ditto sweep with it transformed into Munkidori, and I completely missed that. That was my bad. I actually could have come out of that game with a much stronger differential, but it is what it is. And one of these days, I swear I will figure out Ditto and utilize it to its fullest potential. Regardless of whether this is the week for that or not, Moving on, next up we have Algae Blooms or Dragalge. This is, for all intents and purposes, the same set I brought for my Week 2 game against Arts, because quite frankly, it works just as well here. Adaptability gives me a little extra pop. Draco Meteor, even with only 28 special attack EVs, does heavily threaten a lot of things on his team. Sludge Bomb, even though he's got a lot of poison resist, it's still very strong stab. And there is also the fact that the things he has that do Tera Fairy, I can put pressure on them by having Dragalge go after them. Flip Turn allows me to be able to generate momentum, because that was the whole point of this team from the get-go. And Thunderbolt gives me a way to hit Charizard if it decides to go Tera Water or doesn't Tera at all. And also threaten things like Hisui and Samurott, Masquerain, Murkrow, that kind of thing. Dragalge is primarily here for two reasons. One, to apply a bit of bulky offensive pressure to ShadowAce's team. And two, this thing is basically my dedicated Zard check. Because even with the sun up and operating on solar power with specs, Zard really cannot touch Dragalge. And that is my intended plan here, to have Dragalge come in, pressure Charizard, and basically run a lot of cracks through his team. Which will hopefully open the door for the next mon on the docket, Rain the Meloetta, back again. Maybe I'm a bit crazy here, but I'm going back to the Calm Mind well, or at least I'm going to try to with Meloetta. This time, I'm running Substitute along with Psychic and Dazzling Gleam, because honestly, those two moves are all I really need. Worst case scenario, I get into a War of Attrition with Galarian Slowking, but with enough Calm Mind boost, that thing will not be able to touch me, and I will eventually be able to take huge chunks out of it with Psychic. The EV spread on this one is a little funky, and that is kind of because I will be up front here. I kind of took inspiration from Envy's Calm Mind Espeon set from, I think, Week 2 of SPL. I just altered them accordingly, mostly to make sure I have the speed investment to be able to, at the very least, always outrun the likes of Great Tusk and Baxcalibur if they are running Jolly. Because that allows Meloetta to be able to hit them hard. I'm running Tera Fairy. Ideally, Rain is not going to be... Rain is kind of my backup Tera option. I don't think they need Tera to be able to apply enough pressure as long as I can get behind a sub and start getting boosts up. And they can certainly take hits with this spread. But if I haven't already Terra'd Sneasel, I will... If the opportunity arises where I feel like popping my Tera with Meloetta is the better play, I will go for it. But ideally, I'm going to preserve my Tera to have Sneasel use it, because it benefits Sneasel so much more in this game. But we will see how the game plays out in regards to that. Last up is Road Roller, the Iron Treads. I'm going to be up front. I was iffy on bringing Treads to this game, but in the back of my head, I felt like I absolutely needed to bring Iron Treads because of the possibility of Masquerain and the webs that could go up. Which is why I have Rapid Spin, which does double in allowing me to be able to get a speed boost, to be able to outrun his team, and be able to go from there. With 208 speed, Treads is kind of in the same boat that Ape is, in being able to guarantee outrun at least Dracloak and everything below that. With a Rapid Spin, I can outrun Iron Moth as well, if it's not booster energy, so we can go from there. With 48 HP of Vs, it can take a few extra hits. Basic stuff here with Treads. It's here to, with Earthquake, Iron Head, and Ice Spinner, it's got good coverage to be able to handle most of this team. Especially the Terramons, because actually running Iron Head for a change does put pressure on the likes of Charizard and Altaria if they decide to go Tera Fairy. And, well, actually all of them, because they all have the Tera Fairy option. It's just hard trying to factor in Dracloak a bit, just because it kind of feels like it's not going to come. But I don't want to rule out the possibility, because with EVLI, Dracloak could actually be a potential problem. So, that is the team. As we go ahead and flip back over to my locker room, see my team. enjoying themselves, getting ready. We will see if this works. I will be upfront. I'm a little iffy on this, but I think if I play my cards right, I think I can pull this off, because my Swoo definitely need to get some more wins in the win column as we get closer to the end of the season, because the Uva Division is kind of tight everywhere but at the very top, and obviously wins are going to be immense for us in being able to try to get this team into playoffs and prove it is worthy of its high preseason ranking, I guess. So, with that said, I'll see you guys when it's battle time. Alright, it is battle time. We are going to see how well my team fares against the potential weather shenanigans we could be staring down. Let's see, we have Iron Moth, Great Tusk, Regieleki, Baxcalibur, Amoonguss, and Charizard. Huh. So, no Murkrow and no Slowking means no weather. No Hisui and Samurott is also kind of nice to see, too. Charizard's... I mean, unless something else is going to try to manually set Sun without Murkrow's Prankster. Interesting. Well, Charizard's the only Tera Captain he brought, which is good to know. No Masquerain either, which means no Webs, which is one of the things I was a little afraid of. I would not be surprised to see a Great Tusk lead. And in that regard, I think what I'm going to do, actually, is lead Calamity. Yeah, I'm going to lead Calamity since she's Scarfed, and we're going to try to see if we can start chipping away at things early and go from there. So, good luck, have fun, ShadowAce. And let's see if my Columbus Swoo can keep our winning ways going. Taking to the beach. Fair enough. Leading with Iron Moth. Interesting. And no booster energy. Since I'm Scarfed, I'm extremely tempted to just Earthquake right out of the gate. Well, if this thing is Specs, it dies. If it is, say, some sort of Focus Sash set, maybe? Yeah, I'm specifically EV that unless the thing is running Modest, a Psychic should not OHKO me. So I'm actually fine going just straight for the Earthquake, as he's just going to switch out into Gumbo Slice, which is Great Tusk. Which is fair. Earthquake is still going to take a chunk out of you. You are leftovers, that is good to know. Alright. Alrighty. So, Great Tusk. Starting to realize I actually do not have the best of switch-ins to you, at least from a defensive standpoint. So I think my play here... I'm gonna go into Crewmate. I probably should have thought about Great Tusk a little more on the defensive end of things. That one's on me. But we are still going to become this thing, and we will see what the name of the game is. As he goes knockoff, which gets rid of Ditto's Scarf. So that is no good. That is not good. Let's see. Knockoff. Headlong Rush. Close Combat. And Rapid Spin. So Ditto being without its Scarf actually does kind of make Baxcalibur a little more of a problem. So that one is no good. Would he stay in is the question, because we're kind of at a speed tie right now. If he switches, what would he go into? Honestly, I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Headlong Rush. As he just withdraws. So whatever comes in is not going to appreciate taking this unless he goes into... He's going to go into Among Us. Among Us. And I've got my crewmate out here. Imagine that. That is a crit! Oh my lord. And I don't know what EV spread this thing actually is. But I'm going to go for another Headlong Rush, because Great Tusk should outspeed Among Us every time. And, I think Crewmate's about to pull some Among Us shenanigans that are definitely going to, yep, switching out for Regenerator. I figured as much. Into Charizard. Which is fair. I do not know what this Zard is. But one thing I do know is that no matter what this Zard is, Algae Bloom basically eats everything from it and goes from there. So I have no problem at all making this switch. If this thing wants to go ahead and tear it. Dragon Dance! Okay, you are not Special Zard. That is good to know. I'm still gonna Draco you, though. Because I think I should be able to take this Earthquake. I live on 1! Okay, so that's a thing that happened. Not the ideal result I was expecting, honestly. But I was also not expecting D-Dance Zard. Okay, kudos. That one caught me off guard. I'm just gonna click Flip Turn and let Algae Bloom go. At least I get to see what kind of Tera this thing is, which will be good info to have. It is Tera Water. Noted. As it goes for Tera Water, Tera Blast. Fair enough. So Charizard KOs Dragalge. So the good thing is, me being down Dragalge does kind of suck, but let's see, Tera Water. Calamity Scarf, it outruns this thing no matter what. It's low enough that I think a U-turn might kill it. Question is if I get that wrong, though. What is my play? I'm gonna U-turn out and see if I kill this thing. I do. Okay, good. Good. Okay, so there is that at least. Okay, good. Good tech. D-Dan Zard. Did not see that one coming. So, now the question becomes, what do I go into? And part of me is tempted to go into Rain. Goes into Great Tusk. I threaten the thing with a Psychic. I outspeed and threaten the thing with a Psychic. Regieleki I can start setting up on. Yeah, I'm gonna go into Rain. And we're gonna see if we can get some potential Coal Mine partying started. So, Zard being out is good. Bax, I think I can handle if he sends that thing in. Amoonguss I just sub up on. Iron Moth I can tank and threaten. Regieleki I can tank and threaten. Bax, we can see where that goes and play accordingly. Speaking of the Bax, speak of the devil and it shall appear. So, I can take a Scale Shot. I can take a... I'm just gonna go ahead and straight up Dazzling Gleam, because I can take a hit from this thing. No matter what he wants to do. At least get damage off on it. Just go straight for the Glaive Rush. Which does hurt. So he does have Glaive Rush, that's good to know. See, that knocked me down to 91 after leftovers. I'm at 113. He can't do Glaive Rush again, that's the good thing. So we would have to go for an Ice move this turn. I know I said what my plan was with Sneasel. But honestly, the more that I look at this... If he's Ice Shard, what does that do? That shouldn't kill. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and Tera Fairy Rain. I know Tera Ground Sneasel was my primary plan here, but I did say that if the opportunity arose, I would be willing to Tera Meloetta instead. And honestly, getting rid of Bax now, because I know I outspeed this thing, feels like the best option. Because, like I said, I can take the Ice Shard. Rain's going to be able to get this Dazzling Gleam off, and Baxcalibur is out of here. Okay, so... his two biggest offensive threats are gone. There is still the Iron Moth, but I think I've got ways of handling it. Speak of the devil and it shall appear. I know it outruns, and I really don't have a reason to preserve Rain at this point. Although, a thought occurs to me right now. A thought occurs to me. I'm actually gonna keep Rain. I can save it for Death Fodder later. And I'm gonna send my crewmate back out. Because even without Scarf, depending on what this thing goes for, I can tank a hit from it. And if it is Specs, Fiery Dance. Okay. Crewmate takes that. It does not get a boost. So you have Fiery Dance, Sludge Wave, Psychic, and U-turn. So I'm not Scarfed. I'm not Scarfed, so this is running into Speed Tie territory. But oh, I did not mean to click Fiery Dance. It's fine, I die anyway. That's fine. That is fine. One of these, that at least confirms to me he's not choiced. He's not... Which raises the possibility that maybe he's... Could the possibility exist that he's Sash? I think Boots is more likely, honestly. Tis a conundrum. The one thing I know for sure, though... I'm gonna go into Calamity. I would not be... Considering he switched it out, I'm pretty sure Great Tusk is gonna come back in. The problem is, what do I do about Great Tusk at this point? I'm gonna U-turn. Yep, he's gonna switch out, I'm assuming into Tusk. No Amoonguss! A rather gutsy switch, I'll give him that. Granted, an Ape doesn't have a fire move. Let's see. Meloetta is at 48 right now. That is not enough to sub. And Rain does outspeed Great Tusk, so I could bring this thing into Threaten. Honestly, at this point, looking over his team, Rogue looks like the least useful Mon left on my roster. Which sucks, because it had a really good matchup on paper. But now I've kind of taken away its Tera. Black Sludge, okay. Good to know. I would not be surprised if this thing spores right now. I'm going to knock off, get rid of its Black Sludge. Or the item of whatever decides to come in. So, Black Sludge is gone. There is Spore. Which is absolutely fine with me. And actually, a thought just occurred to me. I mean, I could see him switching at this point. But I'm going to go into Road Roller, because with Rogue asleep, that means Sleep Clause is in play, so he can't Spore me again. And I could potentially get Road Roller set up here. Nope, he's just going to double switch. Fair enough. Into Tusk. Yup. Into Tusk. So I know this thing's whole set. I'm gonna Ice Spinner, get damage off on this thing. Try to start putting it into position where I can threaten it. Get a big hit off on you. Rapid Spin! Okay. Okay. I see the play here now, and I don't like this. And unfortunately, I don't think there's really much I can do. Oh, he knocks. He's gonna go knock off. I will take that. I'm an Ice Spinner again, because I think I'd kill with another Ice Spinner if he tries to Rapid Spin to get to +2. Nope, he's gonna go Headlong Rush, which is fine with me. That is absolutely fine with me. Because, especially with the defense drops, +1 speed, but -1 defenses. I have a Scarf Infernape right here. And I know for a fact close combat kills. So we're gonna roll with it. I'm wondering now if he thinks he's got this, or if if he's starting to realize that I might be playing with Scarf Ape here. Because I don't think I've been really hiding the fact that Infernape is Scarfed. If I can scare this thing out, though, and maybe get Meloetta in, then we could actually be in a really good spot. He's going to withdraw. Into Amoonguss. Which is actually kind of becoming a bit of a problem now. Because I did not put... That is my fault for not putting a fire move on this thing. And I'm actually... Yeah, I'm in a bind right now. I'm gonna go into Rogue. He just goes Clear Smog. Fair enough. I'm just going to click Icicle Crash, trying to wake up. He switches from Regenerator. Into Iron Moth. Alright. Still asleep, which does me no good. Yeah, I'm just gonna click Knock Off. Let Rogue keep snoozing it, because I know this thing has no way of... So there goes Rogue. Yeah, I think I'm gonna let this game slip through my fingers. I have to go into Calamity here. I pretty much have to Earthquake. Which should kill this thing. And it does. So out is going to come the Great Tusk. And I don't think I kill this thing with Earthquake without a crit. No, I would need close combat. I'm gonna Earthquake, though, because he's gonna go Headlong Rush. That's fine, though. Not really, but Rain is all I have left. But we might be able to make this work. I'm gonna click Psychic because it kills this thing. It takes out a Moongus if it tries to switch in. But I'm pretty sure at this point, Regieleki just comes in and picks me off. I don't see why it doesn't. Yep, there it is. There it is. So, GG, ShadowAce. Thought I had some good ideas. Clearly they did not work out. This is what I get for... I mean, in hindsight, I definitely misplayed Ditto. Again. One of these days I will learn to actually figure out how to use Ditto. Honestly, not putting a fire move on Ape also didn't help, but that's what I get for fearing the potential thermal exchange from Baxcalibur. That one was on me. That was something I thought was clever, but ultimately was not clever in hindsight. But it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. 2 and 4 is definitely 2 and 4 minus. What is it now? Let me double check quick while I've still got the video rolling. It would be 2 and 4 minus 4, which is not great, but considering how close most of the Uva Division is, still might not be that big of a setback if I can kind of get things together and figure some things out. Maybe some transactions are in order. We will have to see. I will ponder on it, and we will go from there. But, that said, thank you guys so very much for watching. I have been Ruppy. My Columbus Swoo and I will find a way to get our act together, and we will see you guys next time. Take care.